Well, it's finally that time to call out Channel 1. Wow, it took me this long to stay silent about them, but today looks like the day has finally come to do so. Well, what are we going to talk about today? Oh, before that blunder just happened. There was a hit and run in Astoria this morning, which is getting widespread media attention by the other outlets, but not Channel 1, which, again, Channel 1, they could care less about us in Queens. Yeah, we're on the website. What is Diwali? I mean, they should really be talking about what is Simchat Torah, which is another Jewish holiday coming up, which we know alternate side parking will be suspended for it tomorrow and on Friday. But you go to the Queens section, are you going to find anything about it? No, you're not going to find anything about it. You're not going to find anything about it. All you're going to find out about is this. And we'll play the video, I guess, later on at the very end. Because the Courier did have something about it. And I attended the Passengers United event. And I'll show the live stream of my comments. And we'll get into that. I don't want to get into that right now, because I'm glad Channel 1 at least covered that. But let's get to the topic at hand. And that is this. I mean, really. How in the world could Channel 1 ignore this? Ask yourself. How could Channel 1 ignore this? So, we're going to watch a CBS 2 video on YouTube later on, because we'll watch the video on their YouTube channel soon. But I just want you all to understand that Channel 1 is so naive. And what even makes it worse is Pat Kiernan talking about this morning. You're going to get a full cringe alert in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is going to cause a lot of debate in New York City. Here's the food section on this Wednesday. The lead is the list of the best bagels in the city, as determined by the New York Times. They say they went out and sampled 70 bagels, narrowing the list down to 17 favorites. Some familiar names here like Russ and Daughters and Utopia Bagels. Writer Becky Hughes highlights the bagel shops in neighborhoods that you might not associate with this New York perennial. For example, Little Italy, Baz Bagel there. Some might quibble that Apollo Bagels in the East Village strays too far from the traditional method to be included, but Hughes says, you know what, the sourdough bagel there makes them a unique choice.
So there you have it. I mean, Channel 1 just being ignorant and naive as usual, but yet Channel 2 actually did break the news this morning, and they gave an update this afternoon. So we're going to watch their news report right now. And actually see a real website, yes, a real credible news station actually talking about what really happened in Astoria this morning.
Police are still searching for 3 suspects involving a hit and run in Queens that killed a young woman. Investigators say they were fleeing a burglary scene when they crashed into the cyclist. Natalie Dedridge joins us live from Astoria. Natalie.
Well, Cindy, good afternoon. Neighbors here just devastated. Police tell us that this woman was 36 years old. Her name has not been yet released due to pending family notification. Investigators say she was simply just riding her bike here at 11 o'clock last night when she was hit by a truck and then was pushed on to the top of this vehicle, this BMW here, where you see this front end damage. And surveillance video shows the woman ride through the intersection at 37th Street and 34th Avenue. We are pausing the video before impact. Her bike, which slid under another vehicle, has since been removed from the scene here. And investigators say this actually all started with a burglary on Crescent Street, less than a mile from here. Officers were going after the 3 suspects. When those men realized they were being pursued, they got into a black Dodge Ram truck and drove off. Minutes later, hitting this woman, leaving her for dead. Officers say they lost sight of the pickup truck during the pursuit. The criminals then ditched the truck, blocked blocks away at Newton Road and ran off in an unknown direction. Police say that truck had an obstructed license plate. We spoke to a devastated witness who was crossing the street here just seconds before that woman was struck.
It was intense. I saw a black SUV just turn that corner really fast, and the lady on the bicycle had the right of way. There was a car at this point of the intersection, and that truck just cut off the car and just ran over the lady. Wow. I heard a large thumping sound. I looked over. The lady was being ejected across the street, and she damaged that BMW over there.
Now, this morning, someone brought a candle and a ribbon tying it to the post here behind us. Now, as for those 3 suspects, police still looking for them, and they're asking for anyone who may have seen them run off to contact police immediately. We're live in Astoria, Queens. Natalie Duddridge, CBS News, New York.
Natalie, thank you.
You know, this is what I mean. This is what we keep talking about. The fact that Pat Kiernan can be in his own little naive world while the rest of us just don't matter. We don't matter to Pat Kiernan. We don't matter to Jamie Stelter. We don't matter because we're Spectrum and we have an agenda. And bottom line is we just do not care about you in Astoria nor Fresh Meadows. And before I show you the intersection, I want to make one point very clear. Pat Kiernan should have went to Bagels Co. Yeah, this is the best bagels in Fresh Meadows, Pat. This is where I get my bagels every single week, okay? They're just putting, in the New York Times, too, to a fair extent, you know, just want to mention that, yeah, they didn't even go here. The Oasis Bagel Shop is open 24 hours, yet nobody talked about the fire that happened over there over the summer. So, yeah, that's what we're going to leave that as. Okay, so I just want to go here. See if we can zoom out here. And we're going to go to Astoria where this accident happened. So they said it was... Thankfully, I have it on the Astoria Post. It was 34th Avenue and 37th Street. So we can easily find this. I know exactly where to find this. It's 34th Avenue... Yeah, not too far from Broadway, so I know where we're going. Not too far from the Museum of the Moving Image. Oh, no, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. 34th Avenue and 37th Street. You gotta be kidding me. I know exactly where this area is. Yep, Museum of the Moving Image is right there. So I know exactly where this is. Right here. Not too far from where the Steinway Street M&R train station is. Yeah, I know where this is. Yep. And this is another narrow street, so very alarming it happened right here. And not to mention, 34th Avenue has a bike lane. So, yeah, I know this area very well. Yep, not too far from Broadway. I had a feeling I knew where this was. Why did I have a feeling where I knew where this was? Andy intuition, right? Something else that should have gotten widespread media attention weeks ago, and I didn't even see this until now, but there was a drive-by shooting in Douglaston, normally considered a safe area of Queens. So let's read some details here in the Queens Courier. So it says here that the 111 precinct is still looking for 2 gunmen more than 3 weeks ago after a drive-by shooting in Douglaston that left 2 men wounded. This incident occurred on Saturday, October 5th, with the 2 victims sitting in a car at the northeast corner of Douglaston Parkway and the LIE, so right on top of Horace Harding Expressway. At 11 p.m., a white sedan pulled up alongside, and the 2 men inside opened fire, shooting 20 rounds at the parked car in an unprovoked attack, police said on Monday. The victims, a 56-year-old and a 43-year-old man, did not suffer any gunshot wounds, but sustained injuries caused by glass shards from the shattered vehicle windows. The perpetrators sped away in the white sedan. The victims were taken to nearby North Shore University Hospital in Manhasset to their trauma center, where they were both listed in stable condition. The NYPD Crime Stoppers unit released images of the white sedan on Monday. So this is back on the 21st. A reward up to $3,500 is currently being offered. So, let's just take a look at the crime stats number. Through October 20th, the 111 has reported 73 felony assaults so far in 2024, 7 fewer than the previous 80 reported at the same point last year, a decline of 8.8% according to the most recent comp report stat. It is the first shooting incident reported in the precinct so far this year, the same number yet to date in 2023. So let's see what this vehicle looks like. I want you all to get like a good look of it. Yeah, there it is. So, very vague. We're not going to find out where these guys are, but if you see something, say something. Call the Crime Stoppers. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, this should have gotten widespread media attention. And look at this. You see this? Definitely out of state. Where's your front license plate? This is New York. You're supposed to have a front license plate. I mean, really. Definitely they're out of state. That's what makes it difficult to find this car. But hopefully it can be found, but you never know. I don't know why these two men just decided to randomly open fire. I mean, so a lot's going on. Yeah, I'm just disgusted at what's going on here. So, if I read all these stories, it's just going to get me agitated. Going to get me agitated as usual. Now, this should have been another major priority, all right? This should have been another major priority that got ignored. And then we'll talk about that fire that got ignored too, so. I mean, yeah, there's other assaults and this and that. I mean, the Courier does a good job, but when you have more serious stories like a fire, or when you have a serious accident that happened on the Cross Island Parkway. And by the way, Bill Parry, shame on you. It's not the Cross Island Expressway. Really? Really? Okay, let's read this. This happened, yeah, Tuesday night. So let me see. This was the 16th. Yeah, it happened on October 15th. Okay, so let's read this. Long Island man was struck and killed on the Cross Island Parkway in Bayside on Tuesday night after he was involved in a crash and got out of his vehicle to assess the damage from the collision. Police from the 111 precinct in Bayside responded to a 911 call of a pedestrian struck near exit 30 along Alley Pond Park just before 11 p.m. on Tuesday, October 15th. The officers found the 31-year-old man lying on the roadway unconscious and unresponsive. EMS rushed the victim to North Shore University Medical Center Trauma Center in Manhasset. Sadly, a week later, he was pronounced dead. The victim was identified as Curtis Blocker of Canterbury Gate in Limbrook. So wait a minute, he came all the way from the South Shore? Oh, can respect him for that, trying to visit Queens, but 11 o'clock at night, you know, if you don't have accurate lighting on your bicycle, you know that's a... I know that Fort Taunton area very well, especially the Alley Pond Park area. Exit 30 is the LIE. So, let's see. So it said that Blocker was behind the wheel of a 2013 Chevy Spark electric vehicle, traveling northbound approaching the LIE, when he crashed into a 2018 Jaguar stopped in the center lane of the expressway and got out of his car to inspect the damage. Once outside of the vehicle, Blocker was struck by a 43-year-old man behind the wheel of a 2023 Nissan Rogue SUV. So, there you go. I mean, this got ignored. And there was a road rage crash. I'm not going to read that. I'm in no mood to read that. Please. You know, here's another thing about Bayside. There was actually an accident that happened on October 12th. And thankfully New York 1 actually covered that one. But I'm not seeing anything about it here. No, I'm not. No. Nothing here about it. Nothing here about it. Yeah, so... sometimes you do have stories that do get buried. So, this was the other accident that I was referring to, and this was another accident that happened back on October 12th, so about 2 weeks ago. Now, surprisingly, when every other channel was covering college football, right? We're talking 2, 4, 7, 11, 5. Channel 1 was actually the only one that took Loud Labs footage. So, yeah. So let's read the video description from Loud Labs, New York. So it says, a 4-car collision involving FDNY SUV and overturned vehicle in both directions. This happened right near the Bell Boulevard exit on Saturday, October 12th, 2:40 a.m. A sedan and a pickup truck collided with an FDNY SUV in the lane next to the water. An overturned vehicle was seen on the opposite side of the Cross Island Parkway. Multiple ejections were reported. 4 wounded were seen loaded into ambulances. So, yeah, again, I'm really glad that Adam did cover this because, remember, Adam's a night owl at Loud Labs. So this does not surprise me that because when I saw Loud Labs New York, I was like, okay, this is going to get posted on YouTube. But, as you see here, we're muting the audio for copyright reasons. I don't want to get a DMCA from Adam, but I figured I'll just talk over it. But, yeah, look how bad this accident was. I mean, I'm telling you, these accidents are just getting worse and worse and worse. That's all I'm going to say about that. And there was a video also about the other accident, which, believe it or not, Channel 7 actually covered it. So can we see the Channel 7 video? Yeah, there was actually a Channel 7 mention. Yeah, Channel 7 actually did a video about this. Look at that. So let me show you Channel 7, because this is from last week. So we're just going to play the audio here. I do apologize. Let me just get that loaded up.
Driver is now dead following a 2-car crash on the Cross Island Parkway in Queens. The 31-year-old victim got out of his car in the northbound center lane of exit 30. This was around 10:45 last night. He was inspecting the damage with the other driver when a passing car hit him. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. The driver of the car that hit him stayed at the scene. At this point, no charges are expected.
Police releasing.
Yeah, and obviously the Highway District Collision Squad can't file any charges because, again, this was not a hit and run because all the drivers stayed on the scene. So, obviously nobody's going to get charged. So, anyhow, one more thing before we talk about what's going on with Roosevelt Avenue because, I do have a problem with the prostitution and the sex work going on in that area as well. Let's just quickly read through this story. So there was partially completed homes. There was a 2-alarm fire transmitted, which also got ignored by the media. Yes, so we'll look up this address in just a bit. So this happened, Saturday the 19th. This happened 11:30 p.m. at 107-14 156th Street. I am pretty sure this is South Jamaica. So I'm pretty sure I know exactly where this is. Vacant, partially completed buildings. So it says that the first responding units encountered heavy smoke and fire from the multiple, let me move this down, multiple 2-story attached brick buildings that were under construction at the time. More than 100 firefighters and 24 units rushed the scene. Firefighters quickly forced their way into the buildings. There were no people, thankfully, inside. No injuries were reported. 3 hose lines were used to extinguish the fire that spread through the structure. This was brought under control at 12:38 a.m. on Sunday. So there you go. I mean, this should have gotten covered. But apparently Channel 1 just decided, hey, we're going to put you off and just say screw you in Queens. Because, again, you don't matter in Queens. Yeah, exactly. But yet you'll mention Utopia Bagels. You'll mention Oasis Bagels. But, yeah, you're Spectrum and Charter, they're really full of it. They're just really full of it. Let me see if I can look up this address. So let me look it up here. I'll look it up. Yeah, I knew this was South Jamaica. Because I'm like, wait a minute. There's Archer Avenue and there's Suffin. Yeah, because Suffin Boulevard's right there. And then there's the Van Wyck Expressway. So we actually do have a street view on Google of what the property looked like while it was vacant. Yeah, believe it or not, this was actually a vacant area for a while. And this is last from August of 2022. So as you can see here, unless maybe I'm wrong and I can zoom in. Oh, okay. So these houses were under construction. Look at that. I mean, things have drastically changed in the past 2 years in terms of that. Okay, so to wrap up this video, we're going to talk about the prostitution and the sex work going on with Roosevelt Ave. Yeah, Roosevelt Avenue. And yes, I'm sorry if I'm going off track today. You know what it is. It's just that when you have a media that's not on your side and is not looking out for your interest, you're going to lose track of what you're trying to say. And unfortunately, this is the unfortunate circumstances of what's going on here. Okay, why am I not seeing the video load? I do apologize. I will get this to work in a little bit. So, if you're not aware of what's going on in the Jackson Heights area, the Elmhurst area, recently in the past 3 years, there's been sex work, prostitution going all over this area, right underneath the 7 train. And so what's happening now is the sex workers are claiming that they are revolting against this. And not only that, but they're getting very mad at Masio Lugo. That's right. The lady who's actually taking a stand against this nonsense. I'm telling you, people nowadays rarely give me a good first impression. But when I got to see Masio in the Passengers United Town Hall, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know how in the world could one person in modern day society can impress me, give me a good first impression about their character and their personality. Masio did a good job on that. And I'll go into that as we wrap up this video here. So I want you to look at the Channel 1 report because I'm going to be the only one here on YouTube that shows it. So let's see if we can get this to play.
Sex work is work!
Sex work is work!
Rights, not raids. That's what sex workers and street vendors in Queens are demanding following an increased crackdown on illegal brothels and unlicensed vendors along Roosevelt Avenue.
Sex work is work. We are your neighbors. Our lives are not the disposable material for your political campaigns. Let's work together to protect each other.
Activists gathered on the steps of Corona Plaza Tuesday to call for the removal of police officers and state troopers from their neighborhoods. The recently ramped up campaign called Operation Restore Roosevelt aimed to address public safety.
And we're not leaving until we shut down every single one of these illegal brothels and massage parlors.
Authorities say they are responding to neighborhood complaints that sex work makes the area seedy and unsafe, and unlicensed street vendors infringe on public space and make it hard for brick-and-mortar businesses to thrive. The city released this video from another raid on Monday night. Police arrested 3 women and charged them with prostitution.
There's a multitude of violations inside of this location. That's why it's important for us as NYPD to partner with our brother and sister agencies, because the NYPD can't write summonses for this, as you can see here, but the fire department can.
But sex workers like Victoria Von Black say the crackdown is not only unfair, but unjust. Von Black says they have been targeted by police not only for being a sex worker, but also for being black and trans.
Queens is literally like the world's borough, where everyone is supposed to be welcomed and everyone's supposed to feel safe. And as a young trans non-binary person, I've always felt safe out here until recently.
In the middle of the rally, chaos erupted around former state senator Hiram Montserrat, who has been outspoken in his support for these raids. A spokesperson for the mayor's office says the NYPD is addressing community concerns, but activists say this type of policing targets immigrants, trans people, and working people of color, and many rely on this work for survival.
I would like for other trans and cis, any sex worker, any human to be able to walk down the streets of Roosevelt again and feel safe and supported.
According to the NYPD, housing resources, counseling, and other services will be provided to victims of sex trafficking. In Corona, Rebecca Greenberg, New York 1.
Now, when we talk about what's going on the Ave, right, we're talking Roosevelt Ave, okay? We are talking about, let me move the headline here. We're talking about east of 82nd Street. Let's just use a fair example here. And listen, you can't have children, you can't have religious people around that environment because there are churches in that area, especially the Spanish Catholic population. So, I think there's a synagogue in that area. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there, but I know there are Spanish Catholic churches in this area because of the demographics. But listen, these people have every right to feel safe in their communities, and they shouldn't have to feel like they're in Reno, Nevada. We shouldn't be telling our kids that this is normal. So I want to show you something from over the weekend to wrap up this video. Now this is Maciel Lugo. Who is she, you may be wondering? Well, I wanted to actually show you her name on Zoom, because she is a public, I guess you kind of can call her a public figure. You know, somebody like Curtis Lewa, right? This is somebody who gave me a very great and impressive first impression about their personality and about, you know, what's going on with the situation on Roosevelt Avenue. I mean, it really opened my eyes, especially the other speaker who was featured on Saturday. And I'm glad Charlton de Souza Passengers United did this, because this is a transportation issue, because you can't have this being an underlying problem literally right underneath the 7 train. You just can't. So if you're interested, go on Passengers United's YouTube channel, but I'm going to play my comments from Saturday to wrap up this video. So I hope you found this video useful and informative, because again, let me explain to you all what's going on here. I'm Andy Pollack. I'm a small YouTuber here. I'm literally around almost 2,000 subscribers. I think YouTube is shadow banning me because I'm speaking out against the media. I need your support right now. If you're new here and you just found me, please rate the video, comment, subscribe, because we're facing a very difficult censorship on this YouTube platform. I run the YouTube Creators Guild. We are a union that supports our other members, and please, all I'm asking is for your support if you agree with what I'm saying, because right now we don't have that many people thinking like me, outspoken, and talking about these issues. So if you found me by any weird coincidence, thank you. Maybe I'm part of the YouTube algorithm, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm done talking for this video. Thank you for watching. Now, without further ado, let's watch my comments from the very end of how I felt about Maciel.
He's one of our loyal Passengers United members as well. Go ahead, Andy. Take it away.
Yes, I'm here, guys. I've been here the whole meeting, and I'm literally getting ready to head to Long Island in a bit, so this is perfect timing. So, Maciel, I want to thank you for, expressing this problem. Obviously, we know Jackson Heights, the 7 line, is the lifeblood of that neighborhood, and we need to feel safe riding the Flushing IRT, and there's no question. So by you bringing this to everyone's attention, we greatly appreciate you for all the work that you've been doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So